Today, we're diving into a really powerful story about what it means to go from being a total outsider to finding a true sense of belonging. We're going to be looking at a devotional that unpacks this incredible, transformative idea from Scripture. I mean, we've all been there, right? That feeling of standing on the outside, looking in, feeling that huge gap between where you are and where you feel like you belong. Well, that very feeling of distance is exactly what we're going to get into today. And here's where we get to the heart of the problem. Being an outsider isn't just some fleeting feeling you have on a bad day. The text points out that this distance can literally become your entire identity. It can shape who you believe you are, right down to your core. Okay, so to really appreciate the solution, we first have to get our heads around just how big the problem was. The biblical text in Ephesians describes a whole group of people, the Gentiles, as being far off. And this wasn't just physical distance. We're talking about a deep, profound spiritual and social separation. And believe me, this separation was absolute. To be far off meant you were completely cut off from God's promises. You were excluded from the community. You were left with zero hope. As the devotional puts it, they were far off in every way that mattered. This wasn't just a tough spot. This was their whole reality. The way this separation is described is with this really powerful image, a dividing wall of hostility. Now, don't think of a little fence. Think of a massive, impenetrable barrier that created this deep-seated animosity, cutting people off from each other and, most importantly, from God. So the change that happens in this story, it's not small. It's a complete 180. Look at this. We go from far off to brought near, from being strangers to being fellow citizens, from hostility to peace. So the big question is, how on earth does a shift that dramatic even happen? This is where the story takes an incredible turn. Our source material actually calls what happens next one of Scripture's sweetest turns. It's that moment where the entire narrative just pivots, and the whole story of distance gets rewritten into a story of nearness. And it all hangs on these two little words, but now. Everything that was true before, it's about to be completely undone. All of that distance, that exclusion, that hopelessness, it all changes right here with these two words. And here's the key. This isn't a slow, gradual improvement. It's a single, decisive event. The devotional makes a huge point of this. Christ doesn't just improve the distance, he completely removes it. This act of being brought near is the definitive answer to that problem of alienation. So, what does being brought near actually lead to? Well, it's not just calling a truce or a temporary ceasefire. It's something much, much deeper. It's a concept theologians call reconciliation. Reconciliation, just look at that definition. It's about restoring a relationship that's been broken. It's not about papering over the past, but about fundamentally healing it, turning hostility back into friendship. And the way this happens is just not what you'd expect. And this might be the most profound insight in the whole text. The peace that fixes all this hostility isn't a feeling you work up or a treaty you sign. No, the source is crystal clear. Peace is a person. Jesus himself is the one who is and who brings this peace. But the story doesn't just stop with one person finding peace. The result of being brought near is deeply, profoundly communal. All those people who were once scattered and alone are now brought together into one unified family. And you can see this amazing progression, this journey into deeper and deeper belonging. It starts with being a stranger, then you become a citizen, but it goes even further. You become a member of the household, part of the family itself. The devotional points out that these former outsiders aren't just tolerated, they're brought right inside and built together into the very place where God lives. So, what's the big takeaway here? It's this. Living hope is communal. This whole idea isn't just about saving individuals in isolation. It's about gathering up scattered people and making them a home for each other. And that really brings us to our final thought. If this whole amazing story is about moving from far off to brought near, it kind of leaves us with a question, doesn't it? Thinking about this incredible story of reconciliation. Who in your own life feels distant? Who feels far off? And how might you reflect just a little bit of that mercy that closes the gap?